Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings be unto the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, in the sincere hopes of being delivered in these last days. All right, this is the brother Yakanan from the GMS England branch, and as we all know by now, on the official White House website, they have alluded concerning plans of bringing forth implantable technology, okay, which we know that is alluding to the MOTB, all right, the Revelation 13 and 16. So that's a major, development on the left-hand side, bringing us, closer to the mandatory implementation of the MOTB, okay, in these last days. So we're living in a very heavy, a very beautiful time, and like it tells us in Habakkuk, the second chapter, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. This word ain't tarrying, okay? The prophecies of the Bible, the prophecies of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, are not tarrying in these last days. Okay? As the scriptures say, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, and it shall not return unto me void. Okay, so we've been preaching, we've been prophesying about, the MOTB, beginning with Elder Apostle and down for the longest time. And as I keep saying, our faith is being confirmed with these things, coming into reality in these last days, man. Okay, our faith is being confirmed. Okay, the things that we've been saying, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai on the highways and the byways during the week when we make these videos, these things are coming to pass. You're seeing it in real time. You're seeing it happen. Okay? So the Lord, right now is setting up a dividing line. All right? The Lord is creating a dividing line which is going to separate the real from the fake. Which is going to separate, the faithful, to the faithless. Okay? So everyone's about to be exposed. Your true intents. Okay? Whether you're about this truth or not, whether you're serious, whether you mean what you say, that's all going to be tried in these last days, man. Okay? Because you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make a decision as to whether you're going to take the MOTB, all right, and be allowed to operate on the grid, be allowed to go to the supermarket, work, okay, do what you have to do, or are you going to reject the MOTB, all right, and the beast system, and trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and his power to save? Okay, that's a decision that everyone is going to have to make in these last days. And as we know, and as I always mention, and as I always quote, all right, the elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai are going to have victory over the mark, over his image, and over the beast. So ain't none of the elect being, thrust through, all right, with that needle, with that mark. Okay? The elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai are going to stand stiffly in these last days, man. And we're going to reject the MOTB, all right, boldly as lions, man. And we're not going to succumb to the pressure, all right, of our women, all right, for those of us that have women, families, for those of us that have, women, children, and family members, so on and so forth. Hey, that's the cutoff point, all right? If any family members are taking that mark, that's on them. They're going to be destroyed. Simple and plain to the point. Okay? That's why we say it's a dividing line. There's a lot of separation that's going to happen when the MOTB, is established upon the earth. Okay? Your woman might take the MOTB. She might take your children, all right, to go and take the MOTB, all right, and you know, get chipped up. Then what you gonna do? Okay, you still have to remain faithful unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Trust in the Lord no matter what happens, man. Okay, no matter what happens, trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. But these are scenarios that you have to play in your mind from time to time, especially in these last days, man, because anything can happen. But whatever does happen, you pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushai that you are delivered, all right? As the scriptures say, you know, strive for the truth until death. And the scriptures say, work out your own salvation, you know, with fear and with trembling. Okay? So no matter what, you know, you have to pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushai that you remain in the spirit of being faithful unto him, man. No matter what happens. No matter if your mother takes the mark, your father takes the mark, you know, your cousins, you know, your brothers, because they ain't been preparing like how we've been preparing. Okay, the Lord has been preparing us for this very moment. The Lord has been preparing us, all right, to reject the mark and the beast system. Okay, we'll be doing these videos during the week. We'll be going to the camp, okay, every week, consistently, all right, diligently through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The Lord is preparing us for this major climax that's going to happen upon the earth, man. Okay, our mindset has been dead set against rebelling against this wicked system. Okay, so if you do all this only to hold your hand out and get impaled, then obviously, hey, you weren't of the elect. Okay? You weren't of the elect of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You were just going through the motions, man. Okay? You have to be willing to die for this thing. All right? You have to be willing to lose your life to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Strive for the truth until death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, man. That's what it is. Yeah, you might be beheaded. That's what it is. All right? Get used to that thought. Okay? Get used to that reality that you might lose your life, you know, serving Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But you know what? You're going to come back with Yahushai, man. And you have to have faith in that. You have to believe in that. All goes back to faith. That's why the scriptures say, without faith, it is impossible to please him. Okay? This is all about faith. This is all about trusting in the process. This is all about trusting in the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and knowing that everything that is written is going to come to pass, man. Okay? But bear in mind, and this is very important, you know, we're in a time of salvation. All right? We are in a time of salvation. Trust in the process. Trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and don't fear. Don't doubt. Okay? Be bold. Be bold in what we know. Be bold in these scriptures. Be bold in these prophecies. Be bold in the fact that these prophecies are actually coming to pass, man. Okay? If these prophecies are coming to pass, you know, what's gonna why ain't the Lord gonna fight for us? Why ain't the Lord gonna deliver us? He's brought us up until this point. So what makes you think he ain't gonna carry on fighting and helping us in these last days? What makes you think that he ain't gonna provide food and water for us when we need it? What makes you think that he ain't gonna make a way for us to have shelter? Okay? Meditate upon the scriptures, man. Read the stories of old. Okay? Read the examples of how the prophets of old were sustained by Yahweh Shem Yahushai in time of tribulation. Okay? Because we are the men coming back. And again, you have to believe that. Okay? You have to believe that. You have to have faith in that, man. So the Lord is about to unleash some serious miracles in our lives in these last days. Best believe that. These miracles are about to be unleashed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai in these last days, man. Okay? And I'll say it again, you know, the Lord is establishing, you know, really from now, a dividing line, all right? Because you see these prophecies coming to pass. Don't think people don't see that. Hey, you know what? Great Millstone, you know, they've been saying this for a long time. I think they're right. You know? I think they're right, man. I think, you know, I've been on the wrong side for a long time. Hey, you better swallow that pride, man. You better get right with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai before that judgment comes upon you. I think this is a game. This ain't no fucking game, man. Okay? This ain't no fucking game. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to start unleashing judgment on unbelievers. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to start unleashing judgment, all right, on that wishy-washy spirit. No joke, all right? The Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to start judging motherfuckers out here, man. He's going to start putting people to death. Lord ain't joking around, man. Things are about to get violent in the spirit for those that are messing around and those that are thinking that this is a joke. All right? Camp hopping. Okay? Itching ears, you know, seducing spirits. All of that, man. The Lord is coming for you if you ain't right in the spirit. Best believe that, man. All right? And you know what? We can't wait until Yahweh Hashem Yahushai establishes more judgment, you know, upon our enemies, man. More so upon the enemies of Yahushai, all right? Because if you come against us, all right, you're really coming against Yahushai, because we represent, you know, the true teachings, the true doctrine, the pure doctrine of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So you ain't really coming against us, you coming against the spirit and the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Okay? Because we believe through faith that we are the right-hand representatives of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai upon the earth. We believe that through faith. Okay? So a great test, you know, is coming to the earth, man. Like it tells us again, you know, Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay? So that hour of temptation is coming. But you're going to have to make that decision. Okay? And again, like I said, many are going to fold because they're not going to be they don't want to be locked out of society. All right? They don't want to have to, you know, think about where they're going to get their next meal from. They don't want to, you know, think of, you know, the possibilities of being beheaded. Well, these are all realities, all right, that you gotta know. Okay, you gotta know that this is the reality of things. This is the state of the battle. This is what could happen. All right, but trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, trust in the process. All right, and that lower state is coming. You know, like it tells us in what's that, Sirach, the 2nd chapter. You know, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right? Prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. All right? Roughly paraphrasing, man. Okay? And it also goes on to say, you know, cleave unto him and depart not. Now's the time to be cleaving unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Like it tells us in Baruch, I believe it's the 4th chapter, you know, soul being returned, you know, seeking 10 times more. Okay? You better make the time, you know, to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man, with all your spirit. Okay? You got, you know, guys talking about taking months off to add, you know, to add on to a worldly job, to try and get a placement. Okay? You're gonna go on a leave for 3 months, not doing the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because you want to get a worldly job. Okay, hey, there's been many a times where I've passed up on opportunities where I could have had more money, earned more money, because I knew that that particular job was going to take too much of my time. All right, so you got to know where your priorities lie. Never put anything over Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man, because nothing else truly matters. You know, money, okay, women, you know, children, anything. Nothing comes above this truth. Nothing comes above the importance of being in the ministry and pushing the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. the scriptures say, I believe it's in the book of Job, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. So whatever you hold in high regard and you're putting on a pedestal, the Lord can just take that away from you, man. Okay, are you stupid? Yahweh Shem Yahushai will just take that away from you. He gave it to you in the first place. How are you going to put something above doing the work, or put something above doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, okay? Because you love it so much, or you hold it in high regard, but yet still, who gave that to you? The Lord gave that to you, man. So same way how he gave it to you, the same way he can take it back. So don't play around with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Don't play around when it comes to doing this work and serving the Lord in truth and in sincerity. Okay? And that just shows you, hey, these guys don't fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They don't really know what being involved in this ministry is really about. They don't have a clue. Okay? And there's a lot of you guys out there, you have no fucking clue of what it really means to be involved in this ministry. Okay? You have no clue of what it means to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And like I always say, you don't even want Yahushai to come back, man. A lot of these guys ain't looking for the Lord to come back. They might say it, they might rehearse, the sayings of it, but they're not really looking for the Lord to come back. They're not really looking for a change to happen upon the earth. Okay? Many of them don't even believe there's going to be a change that's going to manifest upon the earth, man. They're just going through the motions. And that's going to be your demise, man. All right? So with that, Lord willing, this lesson has been edifying. And until next time, I'll say shalom.